This week's episode is brought to you by Calcine. Calcine is an Arizona ag soil amendment that mimics the root exudates given off by plants. Calcine improves soil aggregation and helps eliminate compaction in clay soils. Visit stbiologicals.com to learn more about this and other regenerative ag products. Hello, and welcome to the ST Biologicals Soil Speaks podcast. This week, we'll take a look at the theory behind soil testing. Let's get started. Soil isn't just dirt. It's a living archive of nutrients, biology, and chemical interactions that shape every crop season. Soil testing is how we decode that archive. But what exactly are we testing for? And why does it matter? When it comes to feeding the soil and fueling plant growth, 5 elemental heavyweights rise to the top. These macronutrients are the backbone of biological productivity, each playing a distinct role in the symphony of photosynthesis, root development, and resilience. 1. Nitrogen. Nitrogen is the lifeblood of leafy growth. It fuels chlorophyll production, protein synthesis, and that lush, verdant vigor every grower craves. But too much? You'll get all leaf, no fruit. 2. Phosphorus. Phosphorus drives root expansion, seed formation, and energy transfer. It's the underground strategist, helping plants establish strong foundations and reproductive success. 3. Potassium. Potassium regulates water use, strengthens cell walls, and activates enzymes. It's the plant's immune system booster, enhancing drought tolerance, disease resistance, and overall stamina. 4. Calcium. Calcium fortifies cells' walls and supports roots and shoot development. It's essential for nutrient transport and cellular communication, especially in the fast-growing tissues. 5. Sulfur. Often overlooked, sulfur is vital for amino acids, enzymes, and chlorophyll. It's a key player in protein formation and flavor development. Together, these 5 macronutrients form the elemental toolkit for regenerative growers. They're not just nutrients, they're strategic levers for soil health, crop quality, and climate resilience. But just because they're in the soil doesn't mean they're in forms that are available for plant uptake. Nitrogen comes in many forms. Testing gives you an indication of what quantity of nitrogen you have in the soil that will mineralize around your crop plant roots. There can also be a lot of phosphorus in your soil, but not all of it will be available for plant uptake. Soil pH determines the form of phosphorus available to your crops. In acidic or neutral soils, it's dihydrogen phosphate. In alkaline soils, it's hydrogen phosphate. It's important to know that most soils have an abundance of phosphorus, but it's in forms that are unavailable for plants. With the addition of microbes, especially phosphate-solubilizing microorganisms, PSMs, you can access the soil phosphorus and save a lot of money on phosphorus fertilizer. Potassium, calcium, and magnesium all compete for plant root real estate. They're all necessary, but in balance. Yield is affected when potassium is deficient. Optimum root development is tied to calcium. Testing for calcium determines lime needs and whether calcium is balanced with magnesium and potassium. Sulfur is essential for amino acids, enzymes, and chlorophyll processes. It's prone to leaching, and sulfur deficiencies are increasing worldwide. Wheat, canola, and legume plant health and yields are dependent on the right amount of sulfur. Regular soil tests don't measure total nutrient content. They measure plant available forms, which are the ions roots can actually absorb. The distinction is critical for making informed decisions about fertilization and biological amendments. A new test we are using is the TND test, Total Nutrient Digestion. This tells us the total nutrients in the soil, so we know what is in the soil makeup for release. It's not just about the nutrients plants need in large quantities. Your crop won't reach its highest potential without the micronutrients, and testing for them is just as important. Micronutrients like zinc, boron, manganese, copper, iron, and molybdenum are needed in trace amounts, but can make or break a crop's performance. Deficiencies often show up as subtle symptoms: stunted growth, chlorosis, poor fruit set. Soil tests can reveal hidden imbalances, especially in high pH soils where micronutrients get locked up. Biological tests look at microbial biomass, fungal to bacterial ratios, enzyme activity, and respiration rates. These indicators show how alive your soil is and how well it can cycle nutrients, break down residues, and support root symbiosis. Tools like the Haney test or PLFA analysis offer insights into biological health. Soil is an interconnected, living, dynamic set of relationships. The microbes, nutrients, plant roots, sun, air, and water are some of the factors that determine soil and plant health. So do soil pH, CEC, the base saturation of nutrients, and electrical conductivity. These metrics help you understand how nutrients behave in your soil and whether amendments will be effective. Though we talk about acid or alkaline soil and the base saturation of nutrients, none of these are fixed. Even the CEC of a clay soil can be changed with enough organic matter. Some are more easily changed than others, but anyone who's grown a hydrangea and wanted blue when it was pink, or had a purple bloom, knows how pH affects plants and how it can be manipulated. That interconnectedness isn't just in the realm of chemistry. It's also about the physics of soil. Sandy, silt, clay, or loam, or some mix of them all, impact the physics of your soil and also the chemistry and biology. A clay particle is 25 times smaller than a sand particle and holds a boatload of nutrients and water. But because it tends to compact, it holds on to those nutrients tightly. Sand, on the other hand, is so porous that nutrients and water just flow right through it. The nutrients aren't held for the plants, and the water isn't available either. Soil texture, soil density, and aggregate stability are often assessed visually. You can also get equipment to test for compaction on site. Just push a rod into the ground and see how much pushback you get from that soil. This is a valuable test to see how regenerative farming practices with cover crops and no-till have decreased the amount of compaction in your soil. Soil testing isn't just about numbers. It's about relationships. A high phosphorus level might not mean availability if the pH is off. A good nitrogen reading might be misleading if microbial activity is low. The best soil tests integrate chemistry, biology, and physics to give a holistic view. Soil testing is the art of listening to the land. It's how we move from guesswork to stewardship, from inputs to insight. Visit stbiologicals.com to learn more about these tests, what they mean, and how you can prepare for the upcoming growing seasons. When soil speaks, we listen. Thank you for listening. We'll catch you on the next one.